Come on. Yes! 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 I did it! Hey everybody, this is your Beard of Knowledge. We're talking E3. It was last weekend, so I had a week to think about this. I had a week to consider whether or not it was a good use of my time, you could say. I did not watch Nintendo Direct, so don't ask me about that. There was no PlayStation, so no one there, right? But there was some other stuff. You know, there was a bunch of indie games. There was a bunch of the Ubisoft. There was Xbox. There was Bethesda. There was Square Enix. Started off with the Summer Game Fest. Not quite watching it live, but I watched it the next day. That's, you know, Jeff Kiley's thing, right? And of course, that's the one thing through the whole thing you see a lot of is the same thing, the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So Gearbox definitely was putting that out there for people to see. It's not a Borderlands, but it kind of has a Borderlands flavor to it. A standalone game, a high fantasy looter shooter. Looks cool. I might try it out, okay? I've been a fan of Borderlands and Gearbox. Borderlands 2 was not that great, but hey, I'll give it a shot, okay? So that was kind of interesting. The other thing I thought about when it comes to the Summer Games Festival that kind of piqued my interest, okay, was the New World, which isn't really a peak of interest, okay? Because I'm already going to play anyways, okay? Anyway, so that was there, okay? I didn't have a much there. It was the Overwatch 2 thing. Who cares, okay? We had BlizzCon earlier, okay? But it wasn't really much from that first show that really caught my interest that are like, yes, I want that game. Summer of Gaming, which is an IGN show, it had interesting stuff, including hosts that just basically weren't really good hosts. They seem to be selling games too much. They also showed, of course, the Tiny Tina's Wonderland, but they also showed a game called Chernobyl Light. Looks interesting. Kind of survival RPG. So it could be a community game, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so we'll see. But that was interesting. That was a game I thought about getting too, okay? I'm not interested in a game called Skateboard. Not even sure why I'm mentioning it. But hey, sorry, Skatebird. Ha, Skatebird. You know, so anyways, there's that game out there. So, but hey, the Sherlock Holmes one could be interesting. Not sure, okay? But hey, if you're interested in fighting games, there's the Rocky, Creed, Rocky, all the guys from all the movies, okay? Next up was Ubisoft Forward, all things Ubisoft. Of course, naturally they decided to do everything they always do. Had to have a Rainbow Six. Oh, a new thing called Extraction coming out, okay? Had to have Rainbow Six Siege, Season 6 coming out, okay? Had to have a Ghost Recon, 20th anniversary. Had to have, it's like one of those things where you had to have, right? Had to have, Just Dance 2022, because after all, last year was 2021, and before that was 2020 and 2019, and it all goes back, okay? Far Cry 6, we already heard about. It was shown again. Looks really good. That is on my list. It's coming out in November. Or is it October? I forget. I'm screwed either way because my October, November is already... My dance card is fully booked. And I have a problem, okay? And did you know? Were you looking for it? Was anyone looking for an Avatar game? Frontiers of Pandora. Interesting. I'm not interested. I wasn't looking for it. Then again, I wasn't even looking for a sequel. You know, James Cameron is making a sequel to the movie, so I don't know. So there you go, okay? It's only a hope, or maybe that the Far Cry will have a language filter that'll make it easier, okay? After that comes Gearbox. Of course, Gearbox decided to do the same thing everybody else did, was, hey, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And on the set to Borderlands, it was like, I don't care. Whatever, okay? Homeworld Remaster keeps going through their Homeworld. Nothing really big there, right? Tries of Midgard, it could be. You know, I don't know. And Godfall, I don't know. So it wasn't like, okay. So the first four shows were like, kind of cool, not right. What I forgot to mention, and it's a highlight I should have made note about, okay, in Ubisoft, is a game called Riders Republic. It's a massive multiplayer sports, okay, and it's in beta. And you can do teams. You know, it looks like could be a really cool multiplayer community game. And it looks like fun. Mountain biking, snowboarding, skiing, whatever it is. Okay, wing sailing, wing flying, whatever it is like. So, go check it out. Riders Republic. Okay, it's in beta now. It'll come out in September, so give a shot at that one, okay? All right, then we had Xbox and Bethesda. Surprise! Well, not really surprised, because guess what? Why wouldn't Bethesda be part of Xbox now? Because after all, they were purchased. Microsoft bought ZeniMax Media, so hey, we had the first person come out of state was Todd Howard. We're like, okay. Todd Howard has to recoup some of his lost luster because of what Fallout 76 did. But the first thing you notice is that Xbox is 20 years old. You're like, wow, 20 years old. Okay, cool. And Starfield. Okay. I've heard about it. We've seen about it. Bethesda's talked about it. But apparently the first new IP in 25 years has a launch date. Kind of crazy. Inside the video, they show the actual date. 11/11/22. If you're going to release a game in 2022, why not make it 11/11/22? Because there's no such thing as 22 day. Well, you could 11/22/22, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's coming up. It's supposedly Xbox exclusive. Bethesda's already apologizing to all the PlayStation peoples for the exclusives, as if we didn't see that one coming. All right. By the way, back to Ubisoft, because the reason why I'm mentioning Ubisoft again is because they didn't mention anything about the Skulls and Bones. They didn't mention anything about Assassin's Creed. It's sometimes what the things that are missing is more noticeable. There's no Fallout 6 noted by Bethesda. But guess what? There was some Fallout 76 stuff, as if we were looking for that. The game has gotten better, but I don't know. Steel Rain and The Pit are coming out. They mentioned ESO. Yeah, well, we know that. We're already playing that game, right? And Halo Infinite is coming out in holiday 2021. That's right. 1 year late. Finally coming out. It'll be there. The multiplayer looks fabulous. Then again, I have a vested interest in the multiplayer because my daughter works on it. So I plan on playing it. I plan on getting into it. I will be doing it. Diablo 2 Resurrected has an actual date now. I'm not sure why Blizzard decided to put it inside the Xbox Bethesda announcements, but Diablo 2 Resurrected comes out on September 23rd of 2021. Okay, and the other game that I really made me excited, okay, really excited for, is Age of Empires 4. It's finally coming October 28th, and as I said, my dance card for October, November is getting full, and I am screwed big time. Age of Empires 4, Far Cry 6, Final Fantasy 14 Endwalkers. Oh, well, that's the way it works, okay? The Outer World 2 had a really fabulous trailer. It was really cool. Total tongue-in-cheek. You got to go watch it because the tongue-in-cheek about the fact that, hey, how a trailer actually goes. You have this massive world and you have this. It's the way the overlay of the voice, right? It was fun to watch. You'll enjoy it. Go see it, okay? Now, if you are into flight and or driving, there is a flight simulator with a Top Gun expansion. And of course, for Forza Horizon 4, which actually has a pretty cool new maps or areas for Mexico. Looks really cool. And there was the last thing they showed was Arcane was coming up with a open world immersive shooter called Redfall. So it's coming out in 2022. So more to come next year. I'm sure at next E3 we'll see all about that. After that came Square Enix. Now you know what Square Enix does, right? It's Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. Oh, look at that. Final Fantasy stuff. Apparently they're remastering Final Fantasy 1 through 6. Go figure. They've already done the other ones, right? Why not? They showed a game called Stranger of Paradise, almost like a prequel, a Final Fantasy prequel. I don't know. It's a book of. I wrote down the notes. Bold new look for Final Fantasy coming out next year. Okay, they did some Guardians of the Galaxy stuff because they have some Marvel properties, that and Marvel Avengers having a Black Panther War for Wakanda expansion. Yeah, they're doing Near Reincarnation, Hitman Sniper, Babylon's Fall. Maybe kind of cool. Not sure. Life is Strange Remastered, Life is Strange True Colors coming out this year. So, and what's really interesting, it's the very end of the show. They showed a compilation trailer of all the games they were talking about. And they showed this clip, 3 to 4, 5-second clip of a game called Final Fantasy 16. And you're like, wait, what? I had to pause and go back because next when they showed Endwalkers for Final Fantasy 14, you had to pause and go back going, wait. That is XVI 16. No mention of it, but it's in the freaking trailer at the very end. I thought it was kind of interesting, okay? So Babylon's Fall is the one that's most interesting. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out. All games as they play it out. Following that, we had the PC Gaming Show, presented to you by PC Gamer, which we had, of course, Sean Day 9 Plat is fine, but they've gotten more and more campier, and they had 3 hosts this year. Kind of be space slash mech warrior type stuff. I have no idea what they're trying to do, okay? And apparently their dev bot, their robots that take things over. It was a subplot to all this. I'm wondering they had so few games to work with, they had to find some way to fill things in, like whatever, okay? So all those games go through, and you got these games, right? And you're like, okay, yes, that's cool. Okay, yeah, maybe, okay, well, yeah, that, okay, well, maybe that, yeah, maybe that, okay, well, that, okay, maybe that, like, and you're going to the end, you're going, what I see? Nothing seemed to really stand out for me that I really wanted to get. Nothing. I mean, there's this Wandering Village Civ. It's a Civ building game on the back of a moving dinosaur. I mean, there's Icarius, which is kind of a space survival game. But, I mean, and it tried to show Chernobyl Light again. We had Tiny Camp and Tiny Build. In Lumber Hill, which I tried already, the demo, I already like that game anyway, okay? EVE Online, EVE Academy. There was a game called Pioneer. It's a Russian survival game. I'm just watching these. Like, some of these, I think, need to have more in-depthness, a little more understanding. I was left so... This is the reason why I'm mentioning all this. I was left so... I don't know, wanting for more. Where was the actual gameplay or something? Tell me more about the game. It was just like a very light touching upon these things. I don't know. And then lastly, we had the feature game show. It was a little better because they actually were tying these together, kind of overlay. They had 2 voice actors doing this stuff. It's kind of cool, but you can tell it was definitely trying to sell games, obviously. I mean, there are games that are already coming out, like Timberborn. I've already played for you on a past stream about beavers, making stuff. We already heard about Rift Breakers, Eldest Souls. No, that's not one thing. Enlisted. You already know that one game before. So Jurassic World Evolution coming out. Okay, that's kind of cool. Chernobyl Light again. Team 17. Hey, they are a pretty good development house. So if you ever find a game that's Team 17, check it out. Harold Halibut. Looks interesting. I did wishlist it, and then, but, I was just like, I was so underwhelmed by E3 this year. There's some pretty good titles coming out, so you're right. I will have my playtime eaten up. But it wasn't like there was a lot of things out there that were like, wow. Now, you could argue it's because of COVID and the whole thing about 2020. A lot of the studios have seen a slowing down of their games because of COVID. Some, I think, are using it as an excuse, personally. But then again, others are legit because there is a collaboration that does not exist online that you can get in the office. Now, some of these companies have decided to go full-time, off virtual. I think Square Enix is one of them. We always hear stories about Apple's asking for their employees to come back and people are quitting. They don't want to come back. Well, you have a choice. That's the whole point about walking. So did COVID slow things down to the point where we don't have a lot of good games coming out? Maybe. Who knows? But we do have games coming out. So we are going to see our money go out of our wallet. We are going to see our time vanish from us. And maybe our sleep patterns will be definitely twisted. Because don't forget, I've already told you I'm in July. Crowfall is coming out officially. I finally had a Kickstarter. New World's coming out in August. So we have games to play. I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 again, as well as Elder Scrolls Online, because Blackwood came out, and Final Fantasy 14. People are getting geared up for that. When Endwalker does come, it'll be a fabulous thing to do. So there's games to play. So don't get me wrong. There's plenty of games to play. Matter of fact, it might be in the old days. When there's only a few games to play, people have argued. I think it was Bernie Sanders one time mentioned about the fact that it was a good thing that stores don't have choices. Like, what? Yeah, if you only have one product, you only buy one product, you have no choice, no big deal. Like, what? I would have a selection of toothpaste to choose what I want. But, some like that. But it does help when it comes to your money dollars. If there's only one game out there to play, then guess what? There's one game to play. That is my take on E3 this year. So that's me. I will splice this into a decent looking video, and I will then post it on YouTube, and we'll go from there. But thank you for listening to me rant and rave about E3. And it was kind of fun. Again, no PlayStation this year. And EA is having their own little thing coming up a couple weeks from now. So we'll see what that goes on like. But E3 was kind of like a little bit, okay. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that when you're at a actual convention and you have PCs and games to play, it's a little harder to hype the game up when you're actually going to have people playing it. When you're doing it online, it's very easy to hype it up because no one's going to test it. It's a PR? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, here's my thoughts. He is risen.
He's risen indeed.
Check out the further adventures of Kennethan by liking and subscribing and watching me live on twitch.tv/Kennethan.